Hey guys, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. That's a beautiful beach right there. Makes me thirsty sitting out here in the sun. Let's see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews. Today's beer comes from Stone. This is their 17th anniversary IPA. And I'm going to try to pronounce this, but I'm going to probably butcher it all up. And it's Gotterdammerung. Gotterdammerung. Sounds funny. It's a weird pronunciation of that beer. So we're going to find out what this one is about. And I've not had this beer before. Just picked up a couple of bottles of this because I know Stone does some great stuff, and I've seen some other reviewers had done this beer, and I was looking for it. And when I went to the Kroger's the last beer run to pick up my go-to beers, they had these there, and so I said, yes, it's time to pick these up. So with that being said, let's get on with this one. I'm going to give you some notes here on this and description. And so the notes here says, inspired by new experimental German hops, our brewing team is celebrating our 17th, and I cannot pronounce this word, it's Jahrestag, Jahrestag, by taking pallets on an unconventional tour of Deutschland, which is Germany, by way of Southern California. In doing so, we used the grain bill comprised exclusively of Pilsner malts and German hops with crazy awesome names. Hercules, Hercules, Hirschbrucker, Magnum, Mercure, Opal, Smaragd, Smaragd, and Streisel Spalt. Dry hopping with Sterling, a U.S. hop with Saaz parentage, lends a bit of familiarity, but be forewarned, this is a unique beer that takes the IPA, a style we've already pushed far beyond its previous limits over the years, to an interesting new territory. So we'll see what this one has to offer. The commercial description is, our latest anniversary beer, starring an all-German cast of malts and hops, is more glorious example of Stone's IPA brewed outside the box. Our brewers have brought their experiments of German hops to fruition, I guess that's how it's pronounced, leaving conventional behind to create this hefty IPA entirely with Pilsner malts. So Pilsner malts are what they use for lagers and Pilsners, guys. These provide a superbly crisp mouthfeel, while a unique mix of noble and new school hop varieties adds layers of bright, bitter flavors. Despite the daunting name, this beer isn't designed to bring about the end of the world, but just might destroy some of your preconceived notions of what an IPA can be. Alright, we'll see about that. The ABV on this is 9.5%, so this is a big beer. The IBUs are 102, which is basically off the charts. So this is a very bitter beer for an IPA. Some of the IPAs that have over 100 IBUs, I don't think they say the human palate cannot taste bitterness over 120 IBUs. So this is pushing that limit. The food pairings for this cuisine is a barbecue. The cheeses are your standard IPA, your peppery, your Monterey, your pepper jack, sharp blue, cheddar, your more pungent cheeses, gorgonzola, and Limburger. And the meat for this is game, grilled meat, and salmon. The glassware is a Stepper Tulip oversized wine glass. I brought out the double glass for this one, guys. And it says can be cellared for extended periods. Just remember, the hop profile will diminish over time. So, with all that being said, let's get the cap off of it. Stone does a lot of different beers, and they really push the limits and go out of the box a lot of times on some of these beers. So we'll see what this one has to offer. And since it's such a big beer, let's go down the center here and see what kind of head we get on this one. Wow. Very clear beer. Very, very clear beer. And I like that. I'm the kind of guy that likes a clear beer. Don't have a lot of junk in the trunk unless it's actually supposed to be there. And I have not noticed that with any of Stone's beers, that they have a lot of crap in the bottom of the bottle. So, just my personal opinion, guys. So, that tells me most of their stuff is well made, and it's a filtered beer usually, unless it says it's unfiltered. Over to the light, it is a very orangey colored, nowhere near the darkness of the yesterday's beer or the day before. It's not that deep amber color. This is a lighter, not quite to the macro golden, but a nice typical IPA orangey color. And it has a slight haze to it. It's not cloudy, and it doesn't have a lot of junk in it or sediment in it, but it has a I don't want to say murky, but it has a slight cloudiness to it, which may be part of a chill haze. It's right out of the fridge at 40 degrees. But I can still see the light through there, but the bulb is not perfectly clear like it is a lot of times when I look through these beers. And with that pour, we got a good finger of head, and it more looks like a real white soapy head, and the bubbles are mixed. Half are little small, tight bubbles, and the other half are the bigger bubbles. The side of the glass, the head looks like it's got the more bigger bubbles. So I don't expect this to stick around a long time. And from what I've poured, it's already leaving a nice lacing around the top of the glass. So let's get a nose on this one. Wow. For using basically all noble hops, it has a nice hop profile on the nose. Very unusual for that style of hops. They must have used a boatload of hops on this one. Citrusy, orangey. I'm not getting a lot of pininess, but I am getting some grapefruitiness or pineappleness. Some lighter fruit, mango, oranges, apples, pears. Smells very nice in the glass, guys. Let's give it a taste. Cheers, everybody. And as you can see, the head is basically dissipated down and just barely covering the top of the beer. Cheers. Very different. More of the herbal, floral hops presence and the piney. And this is a big beer too. This is a 9.5%er. Wow. Very well made beer. Just a slight hint of the alcohol, not much. Of course, it's right out of the fridge too. Wow. Very tasty. Very, very tasty. Greg's doing a great service to the craft beer industry as far as I'm concerned, from the beers that he's producing, and Mitch Steele out of Stone Brewery, the head brewer there. Awesome beers that them guys produce. I'm very impressed with what they do. Wow. Super tasty beer, guys. Probably one of the best tasting beers using the noble hops from over there that I've had. Very well made beer, very balanced. I'm not going to say sessionable yet, but very tasty. So I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about as far as what we got going on here. This beer can be cellared, being as big a beer as it is, but just remember the hop profile will fade over time. It's an IPA. But if you find it too boozy, you may want to cellar it a little longer. I do not find it too boozy. I find it very tasteful. And look at the lacing on the glass that it's leaving. I must be doing something right because I haven't had a bad beer in a while. Evidently I'm picking up some good beers, so very tasty. Very awesome. Going to enjoy this and give the other half of this to the other half, and we'll come back and do the final chug like we always do, guys. But I'm fairly impressed with what Stone does, and this is not letting me down at all. Definitely glad I picked up 2 of these. I may sell the other one for 6 months or so, just to see how it does over time. And I'm pretty sure this is going to have a, I may overstep my bound by saying it's going to have a date, but it may not. Being a 17th anniversary and it's only done one time, it may not have a date. But we'll look again when I come back for the final chug. So stick around and see where this one ends up. I'll be right back. I swear I will. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. This is a decent beer. I mean, it's not in... It's an IPA, which is my style, but it's in the European, the size type hops and the more earthy herbal hops rather than the piney, grapefruity, the real pungent hops. So we're going to do the final chug, guys. Now that it's room temperature, it's taken me probably an hour, maybe a little longer, to drink this beer. It's a little more on the earthy herbal side of an IPA, rather than the and floral, rather than the grapefruity, piney West Coast style. So it's okay. I mean, it didn't blow my hair back and my socks off. I was kind of expecting a little bit more out of it, but it's done in with those noble style hops, which are a little more subdued, a little more earthy and herbal, and more bitter, I think, than what the American style West Coast IPA is. So, with that being said, I mean, I really can't fault it a whole lot. I said I was going to look back on the bottle, and guys, I don't see any kind of dating whatsoever on this bottle, and I'm a little disappointed with Greg on that. I know it's a brewed once only beer, but still, I mean, some of the average consumer that drinks some macros or whatever might see this sitting on a shelf and you know, and not see a date on it, not knowing how long it's been on the shelf. So that's the only fuss I got. It's not a big fuss, guys, because with that being said, I know it's a fresh beer because I know all the other reviewers are just reviewing this beer. So it's only done once, and it's not been that long ago. So with that being said, it would probably be... I'm going to go ahead and give it. I'm going to give it to 9 out of 10. I was going to give it to 8, but I'm going to give it to 9 out of 10 because I know it's a fresh beer. I know what it tastes like, and I know what style they're going for. I mean, if it was supposed to have been an American style IPA, it wouldn't get that number. It'd probably be a notch or 2 down below that. So, with that being said, for what it is with the noble hops, it's a pretty tasty IPA. Just remember, it's not going to be that pungent in your face, piney, grapefruity, one of those kind of beers. So, but yeah, it's a very tasty beer. But on that final note, on the back end of it, it was a little bit more on the bitter, boozy side. So I drink it within about 30 minutes, no more than 45, because like I said, I've been an hour drinking this, and the last sip there was kind of boozy and kind of on the bitter side. So that's the way it is. That's what I'm going to call it. If you've had this beer, give us some comments back on this one, guys. We'll go to the ratings. Beer Advocate says 88. Double 8s on this, which is in a very good range. And Rate Beer says it's 98 overall and 90 in the style. I'd go with the 90 in the style there, guys. It's not your typical Stone IPA. A little more subdued, a little more bitter as far as I'm concerned. So if you've had it, give me some comments back on this one, guys. Always rate, comment, subscribe. Got a couple of openers. Time you see this, 2 or 3 of them will be gone because I got to ship them out tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow. We're going to look in the fridge. Hope you can be with us.